On today's episode of the Cramped Chef, we're going to turn some of this lovely stuff called focaccia. It's kind of an Italian bread into savory French toast. Savory French toast, what's that? This is savory French toast. You take it, you dip it in egg, you stuff it with goodness before you dip it in egg, and then you fry it up, and it comes out fantastic. You can actually cart it around, carry it inside, all stuff, wonderful, steamy goodness. Great foods for brunches, great portable foods, they're great stuff. So we're going to show you how we're going to turn this into this with just a few simple moves. So first off, focaccia. Nice thick hunks covered in salt. Very tasty. This stuff also has rosemary and pepper, big hunks of coarse salt. Great stuff.
Especially?
It's great, especially when you let it sit for 2 days and get a little bit more rugged. So when it's rugged, it means it can take the next phase of this, which is turning into savory French toast. So to make stuffed savory French toast, you start with a whole bunch of ingredients. You can sample anything. Whatever can fit inside of a piece of bread works. So for today's experiment, we're going to start with some sun-dried tomatoes, artichokes, going to cook up some bacon, and you always want to throw in cheese, because cheese is good. Gouda is good. Goat's cheese, really tasty. Actually kind of low in calorie and really prone to melting. It's really good. And a couple other kind of standbys of cheese. You can kind of mix and match and do a sampler plate if you wanted. Ham, I've also got some nice basic ham in there. What to do is, you of course have savory French toast, which is focaccia. This stuff comes from a local bakery that's really good. And it's got rosemary and garlic and pepper and coarse salt in there. It's great. What else you need to do for the wash is you need milk and eggs. Good batch, 2, maybe 3 eggs. Kind of wing it based on how much egg wash, how many pieces you're doing. It's one of those things where if you run low, you just throw another egg in and splash more milk, and then you're back into the game. If you want a lower calorie, you can swap out eggs for egg whites. The end result's almost the same, but the calorie count is maybe like 2/3. So what I'm going to do is really start off by souping this up. Maple bacon. Bacon on a large skillet. This skillet is great because it spans over 2 of these, and then you can set down all of the pieces later. But you fry up some of this bacon, because this stuff loves grease, so you need to fry up lots of grease. Next up, you need the right vessel to cook it in. You could go for this nice artsy-fartsy one that's really nice for a lot of uses, but you're going to be splashing and splashing and trying to do a complete submersion, so this isn't the best deal. This, on the other hand, is great because it's roughly the same shape as the piece you're hoping to cook with. It's tall, so you can completely submerge it, and it's a good shape, good sturdy, basic shape. What you do is you crack some eggs in there. The eggs. Now, this stuff is savory toast, so if you want to add pepper or other spices in there, you could. You don't need to because the focaccia comes pretty spiced. Break the yolks, turns, so you're really working up the waves. So this one would have already been splashed around and begins the business. Nice even yellow, no hunks of whites, little hunk of yolk, but not that bad. Something too, you always want to have Well, these suckers be always a little bit bigger than the biggest dimension, and otherwise it submerges and awesome. So focaccia, I bought this stuff 3 days ago, but it's great if it's a little bit old because you want it sturdy, because you're going to cut it. You know, fresh bread, if you take it right out of the oven and you start to try to cut it, it falls apart. On the opposite of the scale is stuff that you could basically, you know, do grinding on. You want this stuff somewhere in between, closer to the grinding stage. So what I'm going to do is cut these into pieces and cut them down. So that way they end up kind of about the size of a small remote control. Do like that, so you have that much thickness to work with, and then cut it half again. Like so. These are about even. So, here's a money shot. What you do is you take a piece like this, a cutting surface, just find a little surgical knife, you cut down, and notice that, just because I am cutting all the way through, but only the points are getting all the way through, so you end up with this nice, big space. So cut up some cheese bits. Kind of, you can work with different cuisines in your head, like Italian stuff would all go together, so mozzarella and peppers would be a good match, or mozzarella and artichoke. You could also say bacon and cheddar is good, you put bacon and cheddar together. And you could say Gouda. Gouda can go anywhere. Same with ghost cheese. But you could do ham and Gouda. Like you can do Greek, you can stuff with spinach and feta. If you had feta cheese, you could stuff it with meat, like sausage. You just go nuts because you have all the space to work with. And the good side about putting bacon into this recipe is, as it's cooking, you're getting all the fat off the bacon. Heart attack. Now, how I cook bacon, everyone's like, "Oh wow, look at your bacon." Usually bacon's one of those great things, you just abandon it, it comes out better. I leave my bacon until it's all about cooked on one side and then flip it. Way late in the game. Side effect is nice, straight, professional looking bacon that takes less effort than the crappy curly bacon. You can tell it's a highfalutin cheese because it's got that wax on the outside.
Did you say highfalutin?
Highfalutin. Can always tell something's highfalutin if they go one step in the... I've taken off the outer waxy bit, but the inner waxy, smoky bit stays. And again. Now, probably Gouda and bacon would be a good combo because it's nice and smoky. So let's start with some nice basic ham and Gouda. So what you do is you stuff some bits in here. Pause for a second. So you stuff some hammy bits in there. Now see, if you push too far, it may end up a little bit open to that side. Not a big deal. And then Gouda. Now you're going to think, oh, that's going to melt all over the place. It's going to make an unholy mess. Yes and no. What happens is, it makes an unholy mess, but the egg gets it. So what happens is you kind of wash this thing all around. See how it's kind of submerged? Yeah, try to drain off a bit of bloop. Then you truck it over here. Now there's different theories about how I can do this. I usually start melty Jeopardy side down, because then that seals it in when it's hot. And then you can flip it with abandon. Do another piece. bit more ham. Gouda again. Now the trick when you do a whole bunch of these things, these are great brunch foods because you can just stack them out there and it's kind of like, ooh, did you get the Gouda one? Oh, I did get the Gouda one. It's better than the bacon one, etc. So this one, I'm going to stuff with a bit of artichoke. You don't want too much stuff in there. The idea is less is more. So just put a ham and a smaller piece of artichoke than a whole piece. Because you get bottled pickled artichoke. It comes out like this and it's huge. I mean, it's great, but it's huge. So you do like that. Dip, dip, dip. Drain, swallow. Wash down. What you might want to do is put in goat's cheese. Goat's cheese comes in these little tiny packages. It's relatively expensive. I say that because you always watch these cooking shows like, oh yeah, it's just put in chanterelle mushrooms. It costs nothing, and why not just braise it with truffles? And it's like, no, that's a $600 meal. How about I just buy a car instead? So this is about $5 a package. It's a little bit pricey, but it tastes really, really good. It melts really easy. So you've got to kind of keep that in mind that while other cheeses are sitting there kind of sturdy, it's kind of a goopy mass. So you know, just keep that in mind. If you're thinking it's going to be there, you're going to be able to subject it to a lot of punishment. You know, with that in mind, there's a type of cheese called paneer cheese. It's an Indian cheese, and it seems to never melt. Like I think I once used it as a welder's helmet, and it's on the opposite end of the scale, but it's also really good to work with. So with this one I'm saying, you know what? Bacon is good in everything. Goat's cheese is good in everything. Bacon and goat's cheese would obviously have to be really good. So it goes bacon, it goes goat's cheese. Now again, the super melty thing, so I'm putting a piece of regular cheese on top. This piece. And you see what's happened here. Wah, wah. I've run out of the egg mix. Not a big deal. We're in the home stretch for what we're cooking. So one more egg goes into the mix. All the goopy bits at the bottom there, you don't have to worry about that much. Splash more. Yeah. Rip it up and you're good to go. So what you need to do is you need to be able to anticipate that these things are going to have to get rolled over as they cooked to get them on all four sides and then roll them back. So you'd put them along here, but you'd stop enough space so you'd have it here and here. That way, as you're rolling them over, you get to that point on the far end, and then you're rolling back and you're cooked. And then you can just kind of put them all down in a sequence, roll them back, and you're in business. Now these things cook relatively fast. So, fast. So when they come up, you see that side's all sealed in. Pop it down. Then what you do is you just roll it one side each way. That changes how which side gets it. But unlike regular French toast that gets only one side, then you flip it and you're done. This stuff needs all four sides because you dipped it and it's pretty thick and it'll soak up egg, and you don't want to send people home with salmonella. Well, maybe you do, but it's your choice. So you do them on all your sides. These two have already got two sides. That one's one, that one's one. Now they're all cramped up like that, but that gives us our space at this side so we can kind of roll them down like one of those hot dog rollers. Gives us some wiggle room. So what you do is you flip them, flip them, flip them. I've got asbestos fingers, so you should probably use something else. Flip it. Flip it. Now it's all rolled down here. And if you want to kind of reset it, you got room again. It's great. Pretty sure you could really freak out some fine chef with the idea of just pushing something you're trying to brown. You know, whatever. Sorry, Claude. More room for everyone else. Now, these two new citizens can go into place. There. And plop them on the plate. Nice and crispy. You want to see how tasty it is inside. Ta-da! Mmm, look at all that stuff. Nice cheesy bits. Yummy. Of course, you don't want to cut it in half before you serve it. Let them, the guests, get that treatment.